A terrifying story involving a bombing of a fertility clinic. The individual suspected was an anti-natalist, anti-pro-life. He thought people should stop having kids. I'm not going to waste time, and I'm not going to cut anyone the benefit of the doubt. This is explicitly a left liberal ideological point. This is what they push and what they believe. The right is very much pro-baby. When Elon Musk started shifting rightward, one of his key talking points was have more babies. On the right, they have more babies. On the left, they don't. Prominent liberal organizations have routinely argued people should not have children. And in fact, just the other day, we have the story. Hillary Clinton criticizes pro-birth policies, says immigrants are the key to U.S. growth. Malthusian, call it whatever you want. When an individual bombs a fertility clinic and has writings criticizing people who have children, it is apparent that this is leftist ideology. Here's the story from the AP. A 25-year-old man the FBI believes was responsible for an explosion that ripped through a Southern California fertility clinic left behind anti-pro-life writings before carrying out an attack investigators called terrorism. Guy Edward Bartkus of 29 Palms, California, was identified by the FBI as a suspect in the apparent car bomb detonation Saturday that damaged the clinic in the upscale city of Palm Springs in the desert east of Los Angeles. His writings seemed to indicate anti-natalist views, which hold that people should not continue to procreate. The blast gutted the American Reproductive Center's fertility clinic and shattered the windows of nearby buildings along a palm tree-lined street. Witnesses described the loud boom followed by a chaotic scene, with people screaming in terror as glass strewn along the sidewalk and street. Investigators said is it Barktis? Because I think they have a typo they put Bartkiss in the beginning, but then Barktis later. A senior FBI official called possibly the largest bombing scene that we've had in Southern California. A body was found near a charred vehicle outside the clinic. Bartkiss attempted to live stream the explosion and left behind writings that communicated nihilistic ideations that were still being examined to determine his state of mind, said Akil Davis, the assistant director in charge of the FBI's LA field office. They said, quote, "This was a targeted attack against the IVF facility. Make no mistake, we are treating this, as I said yesterday, as an intentional act of terrorism." The bombing injured 4 other people, though Davis said all embryos at the facility were saved. Good guys 1, bad guys 0, he said. Authorities were executing a search warrant in 29 Palms, a city of 28,000 residents west of Palm Springs. Is it east of Palm Springs? Northeast of Palm Springs. Thank God today happened to be a day we have no patience. Dr. Mar Abdullah, who leads the clinic, told the AP in a phone interview Saturday. Now, interestingly, one of the immediate narratives was that this was actually pro-lifers. This guy was probably right-wing because pro-life individuals don't like IVF facilities because they create embryos, life, and then destroy them. Or at least they get destroyed in the process. But no. Take a look at this. Hillary Clinton criticizes pro-birth policies, says immigrants are key to U.S. growth.
As I posted the other day, this very blatant effort to basically send a message, most exemplified by Vance and Musk and others, that, you know, what we really need from you women are more children. And what that really means is you should go back to doing what you were born to do, which is to produce more children. And they're talking about, you know, cash benefits for the more children you have. This has been tried, by the way, in other countries, and it has not worked. Or true. Medals if you have 6 children, while they're contemplating cutting Medicaid, while they have no interest in paid family leave or funding quality child care. They're cutting Head Start. I mean, you go down the list of all the programs that support child rearing and the care of children and create, you know, some safety net for women who are in the workforce, the formal workforce, as well as, you know, raising children. So this is another performance about concerns they allegedly have for family life. But if you had read the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, despite Trump saying he knew nothing about it. If you had read it, it's all in there.
He probably didn't.
It's all in there. Return to the family, the nuclear family, return to being a Christian nation, return to, producing a lot of children, which is sort of odd because the people who produce the most children in our country are immigrants, and they want to deport them. So none of this adds up, but...
It does. It's called maintaining the American way of life, the moral tradition, and the views of the founding fathers. Hillary Clinton is evil.
One of the reasons why our economy did so much better than comparable advanced economies across the world is because we actually had a replenishment, because we had a lot of immigrants, legally and undocumented, who had a...
Legally and undocumented. You see how they do this? You see how she does this? And it's illegally and illegally, ma'am.
Larger than normal, by American standards, family. So this is just another one of their, make America great again by returning to the lifestyles and the economic arrangements of not just the 1950s. I mean, let's keep going back as far as we can and, see what happens.
It's funny because, Alex Jones is actually arguing that's what they want to do. He mentioned that book, I think it's called Ishmael, about the psychic gorilla that's like, there are too many humans. I don't know how the gorilla actually talked, but I will do that. And it's typically people like Hillary, they don't have kids, don't support America, don't go back to when a time was good. That's what they say. Make America great again. What they want to do is stop those of the American tradition from having babies. You can see it in the ideology on CNN and various other networks where they say things like, if you take a look at the South Africa refugee thing, go back to your home country. They say it with Israel. It's really, really fascinating. You and I love about this. Let's just piss everybody off. Did you know that Kiev used to be the capital of Russia? And then I don't know a lot about the history of how that broke apart, but Ukraine ended up becoming separate from Russia, but it was the capital. So you'd think these leftists would want Russia to return to their ancestral homeland. That's what they call it. That's how they describe it. So when you have illegal, but really, let's be fair, like there's no logic in what they're proposing. Why deport illegal immigrants? To maintain a system of laws, society. So when people come here illegally, we send them home. We don't just say, have as many babies as you want, and then we make them all citizens, because it actually is really simple what happens after the fact. The new citizens will vote for non-citizens. That's what Hillary Clinton wants. It's what many of these people wanted. They want the United States to be the global nation, the world police. They want it to be an open economic zone for anyone in the world to operate in. And they're mad that Saudi Arabia is building the line where they want to create an international city. The U.S. wanted to do it. They want to create a global country. And I think, the idea would be that you'd effectively have a one world government over the United States functioning as the police. Look at the strategy here. If you create a system like this, where let's say right now the United States is operating controlled by various international interests, individual countries may not be part of the global governance, but they'll certainly be under the boot of a global governing authority in the United States as the world police and as a global citizenry. What I mean is they want people who are from India, China, Guatemala, Honduras, Venezuela to vote in their interests for their families and their views in America. This is what we get all the time, and they know it. There was that famous image, I can't remember where it was from, but it showed the percentage of white people in the United States slowly dropping every decade. It was like 1960, 1970, and the number was going down. The idea that these people have, and they know it, is that if you bring in an illegal immigrant, let's say you bring in 2 illegal immigrants, they have a kid. That kid's going to grow up and be offered a chance to vote as an American citizen. And he's going to say, I want what's best for my parents. I love my parents. Some people do, but his parents aren't citizens. So what will he vote for? He'll vote to extract the resources of this country and send them back to his home country, or to extend public benefits to his illegal parents. Slowly over time, they'll vote to give their illegal immigrant parents protected status, voting rights, whatever it may be, until after 40 years of this, you can literally walk in the door day one and say, I vote, and that will transform America into something else. That's what Hillary Clinton wants. So that's why they push these ideologies, which I believe ultimately result in this. I'm going to leave it there. Stay tuned, my friends. We do have more segments coming up for you throughout the day. Thanks for hanging out. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast, and we'll see you all in the next bit.